Tuned. I'm going to show you how to make these incredibly gorgeous earrings out of wood pieces, markers from the Dollar Tree, and a wood burning tool. So I'm here today to do a wood burning tutorial. Now, mind you, I'm not a wood burning expert. I've only used my wood burning tool once. It did do what I wanted it to do, but there's different heads, I should say, or points that come with the wood burning tool, and I'm going to share with you that I got mine from Michael's. This is what it looks like. This thing is hot. I have it on because you plug it in and it's 950 degrees. So it's going to set your soul on fire and burn yourself, right? So be very careful. I don't recommend having it around small kids because if it falls into their lap or they pick it up with their hands because they think it's a marker, it is going to burn. Because I just literally had it sitting on the pot holder because I couldn't find the little stand that comes with it. And it was burning a hole in the pot holder. I mean, it is hot. So the wood burner that I purchased is by Walnut Hollow. Let me put this down and I'm gonna show it to you, but I'll show you the packaging in a second. So it has an on and off switch, right? I didn't realize mine was already on when I was gonna do this video. So it has an on and off switch that you can cut it on with, has a short little cord, comes with the stand that you sit it on, and it comes with 4 different heads. So the head that I'm going to be using today is we're just going to do some lines. Now you would think that you could make, you would think you could use it like a pen, right? Like you would an ink pen, but it doesn't work like that. And then it's going to do something different depending on the type of wood grain that you're using or depending on the type of, not shape, but item that you're putting it on, right? Because they're very high-end wood burning tools. Who knew? I didn't have a clue, right? But I just wanted to buy one that was fairly inexpensive, that I could do wood burning on jewelry and begin to make something that was unique and different that I was interested in. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to do some lines and geometric patterns on a couple of wooden shapes of earrings. I'm going to show you the supplies that I'm going to be using, but let me put that down right quick. Just going to put it over there on the holder. And I'm going to show you the packaging so you'll know what to look for. So this is over in the wood section where you see the big pieces of wood where you can make the clocks, near the dollhouse section in your Michael's store. Hey, Mimi. And you can use I use my 50% to 60% off coupon. I think I ended up paying like $8.50 or maybe it was $12. I can't remember, but it was less than $12 for my wood burner. And so it gets up to 950 degrees. It'll tell you that on the packaging. They did have different ones. I just picked the one that was most economical to me. I think it was $15.99 and then 50% off that. So it was like $8. It comes with a universal point, a flow point, a shading point, a cone point, and a tool stand. So I didn't take the other points out, but they're down there in the bottom of the packaging. So I probably am gonna take the cone point out so I can see if it'll do some type of dots, but we're just gonna practice with it and figure it out. So let me show you the supplies that you're gonna need. If you don't already have a wood burner, you know, pause here, go buy one. Just kidding, but at least you'll know how to use yours. But again, I saw one video where it said you maybe want to make practice, like you want to practice using it and get comfortable or acclimated with the tool. But I'm an instant gratification kind of girl. So I'm like, we can learn as we go. I mean, what's the worst that could happen is we paint over it. So let me show you the first pair of earrings I did using the wood burner, and I covered over the wood burn I did. I liked it, but I'm going to tell you why I covered it. So this is the very first pair of earrings I did using the wood burning tool. And so basically I envisioned a cross or some cross jewelry. And so I was going to put a cross down the center of these earrings, and that's what I did. And when I put it on there, it reminded me of a scary movie. I don't know if some of y'all heard me tell that when I did my very first earring sharing video. It looked like something out of The Exorcist. I was like, oh, the devil is a lie, because it just looked like a burnt cross. And I was like, that did not come out exactly as planned. So I don't think I like the burnt cross idea in wood, but probably also at the time, I didn't have a design in mind either. I just said, and this was already a painted base. So when I went to put the cross on there, I have seen, my husband tells me all the time, Garlinda, you've watched too many scary movies. And so all I saw was The Exorcist and some type of demonic cross, right? You know how they do the upside down cross, but I was like, no, that's not going to work. So I filled the cross in on this particular earring with the copper and gold color glitter paint, because I was like, Jesus, we're not even gonna play. So anyway, that's the first pair of earrings I made with the wood burning tool. And so this time I was researching online. I said, well, let me just see what other designs are out there, what other things look like. And of course, I saw some much better looking ideas. And so I believe I have an idea in mind, and that's what we're gonna go with. And so I'm just gonna do some lines, and let's get started. And here are the supplies that you're gonna need. You're gonna need your wood pieces. And again, I share with you all the time that I buy these in bulk at Michael's. They normally come 36 pieces to a pack, so you can make 18 earrings. And the brand that I get is Creatology. They're over by the feathers and the glitters at your Michael's store, in case all stores are set up similarly. We're also probably gonna do a square pair as well. Very same thing. You can get these over in the craft section at Michael's, but I think this particular pack of squares has probably 60 pieces, so you can get 30 pairs of earrings. So each of them is different. And then you're gonna need your favorite color. You're gonna need colored pencils, and you're gonna need some paint. So I don't know what colors I'm gonna use. I'm just showing you that you're gonna need paint. I haven't decided yet what colors I'm gonna be putting on anything. So of course, you know my favorite kind of paint is the Deco Art, Americana Deco Art. And then these are the colored pencils that I got the other day from the Dollar Tree. So I'm definitely going to be filling in between the burnt lines. That's kind of how I'm envisioning it in my mind on the pieces. And we're going to see what type of coverage we can get from the colored markers. So you need your wood burning tool. Let's try not to touch anything or anybody. You're going to need your markers. You're going to need some wooden pieces, and you're going to need some paints. And we're gonna start making something gorgeous. So let's get going. I forgot to mention that you're also gonna need a paintbrush in the event you decide to paint on your design. And then one more thing that you're gonna need, because I'm gonna be taping off a straight line on my design, and I'll show you how to do that, is you're gonna need your trusty Fifi Flamingo. Just kidding, but you are gonna need some tape, depending on what design you're gonna do. I'm gonna be doing a straight edge design. I showed how to do that before in another video, so you're gonna need tape. I forgot a paintbrush. Let's get started. So we have our wood piece, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wood burning tool, and I won't be able to hold it up to show you per se, because again, even this piece right here is really hot. So this is where the finger rests, but I'm just going to be doing some lines because I envision like a kind of like a sun with some rays, but I'm not doing a sunshine design. I'm just saying, like, I want to do kind of like an indigenous design. I don't know if you can see the smoke coming off of it already, but this thing was ready to make some lines. You see that? So I love the smell of it. So again, it doesn't work like a pen, but because it's so hot and because this wood is so smooth, it's kind of doing that. If you want your lines to be thicker, you can just hold it down a little bit longer and do them that way. So far I've just done 3 lines, and then I'm just gonna go out to the side. And you even have where you can watch some tutorials, of course, here on YouTube, and they can show you how you can do shading and different design techniques. And so far, that's what we have, and that's what it's looking like. And I really like it. So now I wanna match up. Let me do one more spot right here. So I'm thinking what I want to do is that I want to do some similar lines across from it. But let me match up the other earring first, and then we'll do that, okay? Now it might be easy too if you do some type of template. Ooh, I almost burned that all the way through. Yeah, I'm telling you, this thing is hot. So let's go back down over this one more time so it'll be even. You don't want to hold it onto your wood because these are really thin pieces of wood. And because this is art, of course, you want to get it as close as you can as possible. But that's not going to always be the case. So let me just make that one just a little longer. So, super cute. Super cute. And let me take a look at them before I burn any more lines. I'm gonna set that off to the side. and see if there's anything I want to do to make sure they're even to my liking. And then what I want to do is I think I want to put some lines up here going in the other direction. So I'm going to do that. And just gently, I'm just drawing across. So this thing kind of made me out to be a liar. It is moving through this wood like a pen. I guess because it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Because it's so hot. I shouldn't have gone back over that. So we're going to have to make it a little bit thicker now. Ooh. This thing is putting out some heat on my knuckle. So it wouldn't go back down the same way that we had it. And so I'm just going to be okay with that. Now let's do the other side. And I kind of want an indigenous design, so I'm not mad about that. Because again, you're not going to be able to control it. It's going to do what it wants to do. But as I begin to practice with it, I believe I'll have more control over it. And just to give you an idea of how hot it is, that it's actually, I could see a little spark coming from it when I touch the wood with it. Let me see if I want to add one more line to make a matchup on this one right here. I think I want to put like a little line off to the side. Okay. Again, you have to be really careful with this tool because I can feel the heat on my knuckle. We're gonna make this one a little bit thicker. So I want to make that line right there a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna go back over it, laying it down. But it's wanting to draw out that way because the wood grain is kind of pulling off in its own direction. So we just gonna keep going with whatever it wants to do. I love how, thank you, Miriam. The children are making nachos. Let's pull that one on down. Okay, let me pull that off to the side. I love how, even though I tend to be controlling and want to control what I'm doing, I love how it's just kind of saying, hey, this is the direction I want to go in. And this is what I'm going to do. So notice right there that it gave me like a little kind of dark spot right there, a brown spot right there, but it didn't give me one over here. But how there's a darker spot right here because this thing is putting off a lot of heat. So I like the design as it is, and I'm trying to decide if I want to add anything else, but for now I'm going to say no. So now I'm going to take my markers, and again, I didn't have a design in mind when I started other than I just knew I wanted to do some type of tribal print or some type of indigenous lines. Kind of like an Aztec type thing. You know how you see the drawings on the caves that we see on TV when they're looking at like things that were from Aztec time and they have like the stick figures and stuff like that. That's what I envision in my mind. So what would be really cool is if we stained this with wood, we could do that, but I'm not going to do that today. But that would be a really great idea with this. And so I'm going to use, oh my gosh, there's so many to choose from that. Now, mind you, I haven't used these markers, so I'm not sure how they're going to act either. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, I'm going to do these three right here. I'm going to do the orange one. So I'm going to do that one, that one, that one. I'm going to sit those off to the side. Are they good? Oh, you trying the hamburger? Thank you for making them. So these are the three that we're going to start with, and we're going to see how they're going to end up painting. And so I have the earrings sitting side by side so I can match them up or as best as possible. Oh, how pretty. You guys, you got to go get you some markers from the Dollar Tree. These are the Jot markers, and they have really exceptional color. That looks really good. I like that. Look. That's pretty. So now I'm going to do the next shade of orange, which was the lighter orange. And I know it's not Thursday. I'm going to do a video tomorrow. I pray if I have time, but this is graduation week for my children. And I wasn't sure what my schedule was going to look like tomorrow. So I said, let me get on here today and do a video. And now we're going to use the yellow color. And I'm literally just, I'm not pressing down hard. I mean, these markers just have a really great coverage. And I'm just pressing like I would if I was coloring on paper. Look how pretty that is. I like that. I may do some more lines. This is addictive. So these lines didn't come out even when I did them. That section of lines right there didn't come out perfectly matching this section of lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the whole thing yellow. Just so that way, let me see if I paint this whole piece yellow, if it will at least match up a little bit. If not, I'm going to have to add one more line to the other earring so it can match up. It's pretty. Now, I'm probably going to leave these flat, like not with gloss, but I'm just thinking how beautiful they would look with gloss as well, because I really think it would make it stand out. I mean, and here again, I'm just drawing like I would if I was naturally going to draw like on paper or something like that. I mean, I'm using such a light stroke. I wonder how long these will last though. You know what I mean? Like, how many uses can I, not too many if I pull that out, right? Like how many uses I can get out of them before they dry up or before it's all gone. I wonder that. If any of you knows, let me know. So now I'm just putting the darker orange shade over here. Oh my gosh, these look really great. I love the wood burning tool because before, again, like I shared with you, when I did that cross, I was like, oh, take the wheel, Jesus, and drive fast. Like, that is not going to work. So this is what it looks like so far. And they are really pretty. So of course, this yellow section is a little bit larger than that yellow section. So I'm gonna have to add another line over there. I'm gonna take it out. But the only thing is gonna be so noticeable, but the show must go on. So let me, oh my gosh, that's really cool. And the smell is so yummy, but I love the smell of like a fireplace. That's what it reminds you of. So if you like the smell of a wood burning fireplace, that's what this is going to put you in the mind of, and I really love it. So let's put another yellow right there. And now what I'm going to pick, I'm almost sure I'm going with a blue because it just seems like the right direction to go into, right? So let's put these back over here. I'm going to show you what those look like so far. And if you have a wood burning tool, let me know what you've made with yours. So I'm just putting them back in order because I like taking care of my markers and stuff like that. And so let's use, gosh, they're all so pretty. I'm thinking I want to do this teal and this blue. So one is like a teal blue and one is like a peacock blue. So let's do that. And then we're going to burn some more lines. So I think that I'm going to do the teal right out beside the yellow. And again, this is just like drawing on paper. Coloring on paper, I meant. You guys, I am in love. And when you do stuff like this, you know how you've probably seen it too. I've seen people go on rants online about, you copied my work and you took my design. But when you have your own designs and when you have your own ideas and your own thought processes around how you're going to do things, it's going to be challenging for people to steal your work and for people to copy it from you Because if you're doing something unique or you're doing unique colors or you're doing your own niche, your own design, whatever that is, people, how are they gonna, they might try to imitate it, but they're not gonna have the anointing. They might try to imitate it, but they're not gonna have the sauce to duplicate it. And what I find is that when people copy things, it's really, imitation, they say, is the highest form of compliment. And so sometimes, even though it may be annoying, it can also be complimentary. So check this out. Is that not beautiful? And so I'm trying to decide if I want to do more blue right up in there. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this cobalt blue color right up in there as well. Oh, and you could do ombre with these colors. You know what I mean? Like gradient, not ombre. Well, yeah, I guess it is ombre, like gradient colors. I think that would be really pretty. There's a couple of spots I want to touch in right quick right here. But you have got to go to the Dollar Tree and get you these markers. I mean, Sharpie who and Sharpie what? So let me put these up, and then we're going to burn just a few more lines. Or hey, we may burn a lot of lines. But these are going to be super cute. Now you could do these on a smaller scale as well and make some post earrings. We could leave them just like that. I do like them, but I want something over here. So let's see what we can do, what we can burn over there. So I think that what I'm gonna do is a line across the top. It's pretty. I better not try to go over it again, because hey, once you go over it, it like gets carried away and does a thing of its own. So I just did a line across the top. I think that's really pretty. And thank you for those of you that found the video and prayed for my honey bunny, my lamb chop, Pastor Marvin Price. His poison oak is going away. It's healing up. Thank God. He's feeling better. That kind of got cut off and didn't go all the way down, so I'm going to go down one more. Okay. Because of the grain of the wood, you might not be able to stay within the same line that you initially had. And I mean, that's fine, because it's art. And so what I love about the wood burning is you can also make flowers with the dotting tool, or the cone shape, I should say, or the sphere shape. Let me say it correctly. I saw one video where they made little daisy-like flowers with the cone point. So I've already decided that up here, in these particular lines up top, I want to do some purples. So I have two different purples, but I was hoping I had a lavender, but I don't have a lavender one. So I have a light purple and a dark purple, and then there's a pink and there's a fuchsia. So I can't decide. I think we're going to start with, let's start with this one. And look, they don't even have colors. It's just markers, right? So I'm just going to do the darker purple, which is the warmer shade of purple, because the other one is more like a cool purple. This used to be my favorite color growing up. What's your favorite color? Mine was always purple. Purple, 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 purple. That's like a tongue twister. And then it was pink and green, although I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta in our sorority, and our colors are crimson and cream, or red and white. And I don't know, but I love pink and green. Red is my least favorite color, believe it or not. So I think I'm gonna do the more periwinkle blue kind of purple, like the cool purple, off to the right. Now notice that the gradient over here on this side is going out to the side. So I'm gonna actually take the marker and go in the direction of the wood grain, because I noticed that when I wasn't doing that, it felt like it was pulling a little bit. Okay, so instead of being able to go straight down like I was, I feel like the wood grain was saying go to the right. You guys, I think these are so beautiful. Now, for those of you that sell your work, I mean, I think you could easily sell these and make some money. It doesn't even matter, like I said, that they don't have to be perfectly lined up. I mean, your colors are going to be close enough. And I see a lot of artists. Oh, sorry, y'all. My dog is having a fit with these squirrels today, although it's raining outside. And what I do is I see a lot of artists that post, you know, that their jewelry and their handmade items are one-of-a-kind pieces. And so there's always going to be some variation in the design. And that's the truth here as well. And then what I find is like when we point out stuff, that's when people notice it. So there are no errors and there are no mistakes in your art, right? Because it's just beautiful the way that it is. So I think what I'm going to put up top, I almost want to go with like this light green is calling out to me. So let's see. Wish I could ask you your opinion. Next time, maybe I'll do this live. But there's like a really pretty dark green. Are they done, Mary?
Not yet.
Okay. I have the sweetest children, y'all. I love them so much. So this dark green is calling out to me, and so is, let's take these. So these three colors are kind of calling out to me, and I had thought about doing that fluorescent yellow up top, but I'm just not sure. So let's see. Let me lay the design down and look at it. And I noticed too that these markers don't bleed, right? There's not bleeding over the lines. There's not bleeding over the edges or anything like that, which I think is really cool. Okay, so because I can't help myself and I want to see what this color really looks like, let's go across the top of here. Okay, so it's like a yellow, although it kind of looked like a lime green. Yeah, these are the coolest, smoothest markers to use. I really, really like them. Like I said, I don't know how much use you'll get out of them, like how long they'll last, but I think they are super, super cool. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love it. And so now we could either, I'm not even gonna use the paint, so disregard what I said about needing your paintbrush and the tape, because I just want to do this whole design with markers. So I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry this one line up. Let me get my pointer tool, I'm sorry. I'm going to carry this one line up right here so that I can do pink over in here. And I may just pull all those lines up. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed, prayers up. Well, no, fingers crossed, right? Blessings only. Prayers up. So all I did was just go ahead and fill that in and connect those. And it's probably easier if you're standing over your work versus I'm kind of looking to the side. So I thank God for grace and favor that it worked out like that. Back up, sweet pea. My little puppy's over there. Back up. Go sit down. Don't want you to accidentally get burnt. Go over there. Thank you. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to shade in. You know what these remind me of? They remind me of Indian feathers. So we're just going to shade in right here. And I'm going to do one more coat since we're over here. I love them. I think they came out so pretty. And then we're going to just fill in the top of the other orange color. How beautiful, right? And so I almost want to leave some of that background color. Ooh, don't do that. That's what's holding in the ink, right? So we got that covered up. And now what I want to do is I want to use the pinks that we have. So of course we have a really pretty light pink and a really pretty fuchsia. I think I'm going to go in here. Ooh, that's tough. I'm going to go in here with the pink, with the light pink color. I feel like the wood grain's going in a different direction, so I'm going to lay it down. You almost ready, sweet pea?
There we go.
The wood grain was kind of going in the direction that I'm facing, so it was just easier for me to lay it down to paint it. How pretty is that? Let's do this one. Miriam, I can hear you crunch. Are they good? Did the white cheese come out good? Did the white cheese come out good? Cool, thank you. What are you all cooking today? Today it rained here all day. It's supposed to rain all week actually. We're supposed to work on a deck remodeling project, and we were hired to do that and some inside work on the bathrooms. So my husband decided to work on the inside work since it's raining all week. We got our permit approved, but then we couldn't even start the deck work. So look how beautiful that is. And it's funny because that pink kind of blended in with the orange. But let's do the fuchsia over here by the purple. And I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and make the rest of everything up here that's left open the fuchsia color. And then we'll paint the back and be done. Of course, you gotta drill some holes, okay? Oh, y'all, that's really pretty. There's a Snapple in there, Miriam.
I can't find the other bottle of sweet tea.
Daddy might have taken it. What, the big one or the little one?
Little one.
Isn't it laying down?
No. I need to drink a whole bottle. Okay.
So I noticed that as I'm touching stuff, it's getting on my fingers a little bit. So you want to be careful how you're holding your design. Like if you put your fingers back down on the design. So that tells me that I'm going to have to let this dry completely so that nothing gets messed up by touching other stuff, especially your lighter colors. You guys, I really love that. I think that came out so incredible. What do you think? For my first time, I mean, the only other wood burning piece I had done was that cross I just told you about. That was like, So let's finish this up with the pink marker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of designs over time, not necessarily tonight, and just see how often I was able to use the markers before they ran out of ink. But I mean, but for $1, you cannot go wrong. And then of course I have the chunky markers. These are the fine point. And I'm glad I chose to use these, because if I'd chosen the chunky ones, I might not have been able to get inside the lines without it bleeding over. So let's see. And this is so therapeutic. It reminds me of like when I was little, I loved to color, and I loved to color within the lines. I was that person that drew a black outline on the whole picture and then filled in all the different colors. I was probably a little anal about it, but nevertheless, look how gorgeous these came out. So even though I have like the little wood burning mark right there and the lines are a little different over there, I'm not even stressing about that. I think they came out so beautiful. I think that anybody that owns these or has these, and of course over time you can perfect them and make them, you know, I can get my technique down. You can get your technique down over time, or maybe you're already a wood burning expert. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back over the pink because my middle finger was on it when it was laying down. And then we're gonna let those dry. Let's do one more pair. Let me go grab another set of, let's do some squares. Again, I don't really have a design in mind. And let me make sure these match up really well. Because sometimes you'll notice that the wood grains feel different, so that's the flat side. But the fronts sometimes will feel different, and I'll show you, see right there. Thank you, Gimir. How that has a line kind of raised up right there. Well, you're gonna notice that in your design, and unless the other square had it, I wouldn't wanna do that. So I'm actually gonna make these out to be diagonal so that they hang that way, because I don't like square earrings. I don't know, something about squares is just uninteresting to me. So anyway, I'm weird like that. We're gonna do diagonal design. So I'll be right back. Let me figure out what we're gonna do and then we'll get started. Okay, you guys, so we're back. And my goal is to not have a drawn out long part 1 and part 2 video tonight. So let's keep going. So I kind of have in my mind that I wanna do like a kind of a match-up design in the middle. That might not exactly work that way, but let's see. I think I'm gonna do like triangles, something like that. And I'm just gonna let the tool kind of go where it wants to go, because it's gonna follow the wood grain, right? So I'm gonna follow it. How about that? So I'm gonna try to go back over this first line one more time so it gets a little bit darker. That one I'm darkening in since it pulled away. I'm gonna let it get darker. I really love this tool, and although it's going to take some practice, I like it a lot. I think also the colors that I'm gonna use with this particular one, I'm trying to decide if I wanna do a line right there or not. So, okay, let's do it that way. Okay. So it's kind of hard to match this up, but let's do it. I feel like it's cooling off. Let's see if it cut off. Nope, still on. I guess we're not going to touch it with our finger and see, right? So let's make that our darker line that was doing that, that was getting darker over there. And then let's do one off to the side. Okay, I just pressed down over there on the, what do you call it? On the pot holder that I have off to the right, because I felt like maybe it was loosening up a little bit, the tip. So I pushed it down just to make sure it wasn't coming loose. And then we're gonna go off to the right. We're gonna go down to the corner. And then let me see where we're matching up, see what I have left to do. So that's that line. We have one that way. So we're gonna need to do, I'm just counting up our squares. Okay, so then we have this one. And it didn't get in the center point exactly where I wanted to. And then we have one more going this way. Love it. So because that one got a little darker, I want to make sure I match that up. So let's put it that way. We'll darken this one up just a little bit. So I'm going to go out a little bit. And this one I decided is going to be like some shades of blue, gray, and brown. I'm just trying to make that line just a little darker, and I'm just going in the grooves. So I'm going to leave that alone. We're going to leave well enough alone. Isn't that what our moms would say? I'm going to do one more since we're going that way. Are y'all having a great week so far? I feel like this week is going by so fast, but maybe because my children are graduating this week. One from 8th grade and one from high school. Okay, so And you obviously can't rush this process because it's gonna have a mind of its own. So they even put like a little soot on there, but not in a bad way. So that's our design. And I know it looks kind of a little like a burnt dragonfly right now, but let's keep going. It's going to be beautiful. So I'm gonna start with so the markers that came in the pack, these are kind of the colors that I'm going for, are a navy blue, a gray, a black, and then I'm not sure which shade of brown, but probably the darker brown, only because there's darker brown hues in here, but I'm thinking that they might look great up against the light brown as well. I'm really not sure yet. So first, let me get them matched up so that they're at least gonna look the same when I get the design going. So let's do it that way. And I'm gonna make that line right there a little bit wider. And even though it may go off course a little bit, I still want it to be similar to the other one in thickness up near the top. Okay. And maybe just a little wider right there. And I'm just using a light stroke because this tool can be used to make singe marks and stuff like that. And even this one is a little bit thicker there, so I think I want to do the same thing here to add this one up. I didn't mean add this one up, but to make it a little bit darker and smoky, just like that one. So there we go. Okay, perfect. So now let's start with our brown. And I think what I'm gonna do is, ooh, y'all, it's the pressure of it all. Let's start with blue. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the blue up top, right in here. Now I noticed that this blue marker it seems a little dried out. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish filling it in only because I started with it. But it feels like, or seems like, it doesn't have a lot of ink in it. So let me grab the chunky marker. I had them right there to the right. So let's see if the blue marker in the larger pack, and again, this is the same Dollar Tree marker. These are the Jock markers, and this is the 10 pack with the thick, with the chunky tips. Oh yeah, that one's a lot different. So we're gonna use that one. And I may just do the chunky markers for this one since we also had kind of wider lines with our burn marks. And I think what I'm gonna do is I may even paint, well, I want it like that just so I can make sure. I may even paint some white in here just to give it like a nice offset. That's what's going on in my brain. It's like we could do a white and a brown and the navy blue. What do y'all think? Do you have a wood burner? If not, is this making you think about going out to get one? I noticed, like I said, and I said this the last time, then the coupons showed up, but Michael's hasn't been putting out their 50% and 60% coupons. They've just been kind of giving away. I'm not sure if that had caused the camera to pause because my battery was dying, so I'm gonna do something right quick. So I was just showing you that I was filling in the blue color, and I was also telling you that I'm thinking about painting a white square in here, but let's keep going and see how it ends up looking before we think about doing that. So I also have a chunky brown one, so I'm gonna, and then look, it seems like a different brown from the others. Ooh, that one's more of like a burgundy, and I don't really want, doesn't that look wine? And I don't really want a wine color. So I'm gonna go with the more chocolate brown because I just like how that looks with the blue. So let's see what that ends up looking like. And I think I'm gonna do it over here to the right. So I noticed that this brown is really like a, the brown marker is not faded out, but it's not as highly pigmented as the other colors we used the first time. So I'm not sure if it's with the darker colors that I'm gonna need more coats. But I noticed that it's getting darker as I use it. I'll show it to you in a second. And I'm going with the grain of the wood because I was trying, and that could have a lot to do with it because now I notice it's getting really dark. So I noticed that if you try to go against the wood grain with your markers, that it's going to seem kind of faded and light because it looks like it's trying to work too hard to give you the color. But I notice now that I'm going side to side with the wood grain, how it completely filled in. Look how pretty that is. I like that. It's like a stained glass. So the same with this one, the wood is going that way. So we're going to go with the wood. Thank you also to all my new subscribers. I mentioned to you I'm Garlinda Price, and I've been a jewelry designer since 19. My very first business was jewelry. I currently own a real estate company here in North Carolina and a construction company alongside that. I've been in ministry for about the last 5 to 6 years as a licensed and ordained pastor. And I have always loved jewelry design. I'm a published author in terms of I've had my jewelry in a few books, and I can share some of them at some point. I mean, it's not a big deal. But I say that to say if you're someone that's a creative and you want to have your jewelry published, when I tell you it is the easiest thing to have done, because publications are always looking for creative things to put in their magazines. You'd be so surprised. And when someone told me that and I found out that was the truth, I was like, what? And it was just so easy to get published. And I think one of them paid me. I forget how much it was. It was like maybe $30 or $50, something like that. But I'll share that information on another video. But I think many of you, your art and your creativity is so beautiful. And it will look gorgeous in print design, in Essence, and tons of Oprah magazine. You'd be surprised that your art could really end up in those magazines just by you making a simple submission. Bead and Button magazine, those type magazines, they're always looking for artist submissions. So next, what we're gonna do, I think that came out really pretty and I like that, but I'm kind of interested in this wine now that I pulled it out. Not drinking wine, the wine color, right? Stay focused. So I'm interested in this color and I'm interested in the gray, and then I'm interested in using the blue again. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the blue across from it over here. What are some of your favorite Netflix shows that you've been watching? That's what I wanted to ask you. I've been watching a lot of foreign films, like a lot of Asian cop shows, like police shows and police mysteries. I saw one last night. It was so good. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up and post it in the chat. I watched Peaky Blinders. I watched that several months back. Oh my gosh, it was so good. The Last Kingdom, that was so good. I wanted to watch Ozark, but I don't know, I just couldn't get into the first episode of it. Have y'all been watching that? But those are just some of the things I've been watching with my honey bunny. And normally it's not late. It's like 10 o'clock by the time we get ready to watch something. So I don't even get to really spend a lot of time watching TV. But when I do, I want to see something good. What's something that you're watching that you feel like has been a really great series? So I'm just going along the grain line of the wood. And it's just flowing easily. I almost overlapped on the brown. So be careful with that. And you'll notice a second ago, I did use the black marker to do an outline because I just wanted to see what it was going to look like. Now I'm not so sure about the white, but we'll see. So let's do one more of the blue. It's been raining here all day. I think I told y'all that, but that is the best sleep. Oh my God, isn't storm weather and rain sleep the best, yummiest sleep ever? So because we have the brown over here, let me show you what they look like so far. I think they're coming out really beautiful. Because we have the brown right here, I don't want to put the wine color beside it per se. So I think that I'm going to put the wine color over here across from and beside the blue. Oh, so it didn't come out wine, it came out brown. How cool is that? So it just looks wine colored, but it's like a smoky kind of brown. I think this is where I'm going to try to do something ombre. I think I'm gonna do it with the gray color and see what happens. I mean, hey, just markers. So let's see. And then the gray is almost like a gray green, like a pewter kind of color. Let me show you. I like that. That's kind of different. So, I think what I want to do is carry the gray out over here as well. And then I'm going to do the chocolate brown out to the side. I'm not saying I'm a fan of that one that I thought was burgundy. I'm not necessarily a fan of how dark that brown is. I think I would like it better if it was warmer. So I'm gonna match these up with I'm gonna do an ombre with the warm brown over here. And I noticed that I'm going against the grain, so let me go that way. I don't know, now that's over there, I kind of don't hate it. I'm gonna go over it. I know y'all like, look, make up your mind. But hello, it's art, so we can change it. So it just made it like a warmer brown instead of, and I'll show it to you, instead of like the dark brown that it was when I went over it with the dark color. Oh, did I tell you I have a twin sister? I don't think I ever mentioned that. I have a twin sister who is also in ministry. And you can find her here on YouTube. Her name is Dr. Patrice Carter. So, look. And I kind of want to add some red. I know, right? I'm just like, can't help myself. I don't know if I want to use the larger red because what if it's not really red? But the only way to find, oh, I guess I could try it on the paper. Let's see. It's more like an orange red, but I think that I want to do it. I'm going to put it here. So I'm going to carry it all the way up. And now I'm trying to decide what color I'm going to put over there beside it. And I think it's going to be the gray color. I'm sorry, the wood grain is going to the right, so let me follow along. And we're going to put our red over here. And then I think what I'm going to do on the sides, I haven't decided yet, like how I want to finish out the sides. But what I do love is just how the markers will let you do all these different things, how the wood burning technique will let you do all this different stuff. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this gray color, which is like the periwinkle color. I'm going to finish it off over in here. And I'm going to do the whole thing in that color. And I really, really like that. Now this one, I think I want to add a gloss to, but I'm going to let all the ink dry because, like I said, I noticed that when I touched the other one, it had gotten off on my fingers. So we're going to let it dry. And that was just for me touching the blue because I washed my hands in between starting this one and the other one. So I'm going to go across over here a little bit on the blue section we had done before. I love these markers, you guys. I'm gonna go back later this week if I have time and see if they have any other colors that I didn't pick up because I genuinely think these are some really cool markers. So let's use we're gonna use the warm brown one over that dark brown that we did. Only because I like the warm brown up against that periwinkle kind of gray green color. gray green. I know that's not a color, but that's how the gray looks. It kind of looks like a greenish blue. Look at that. I think that's really pretty. And then there's some beads we could add to it, some stones we can add to it. So I'm going to end the video there because we have done a lot tonight. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to come back and I'll do another video where I'm going to show you how we can embellish and finish them up, put holes in them, etc. So I guess we're going to have to call it part 2, right? So that's those. I think they look so pretty. What do you think? And then there's these. I can't stand when I hear people say these's. These is, I'm just kidding, right? And so I think those came out so pretty. They remind me of stained glass. And so until the next one, which I think is going to be tomorrow, then we're going to put some holes in these. We're going to add some embellishments. We're going to add some beads so we can hang them and make them look super cute. We're going to gloss them up, and I will see you then. God bless you. I'm Garlinda Price.